Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the Gerber Big Rock knife. It's a fixed blade 4.5 inch blade length and 440A steel. Pretty typical medium quality steel that we have on this blade. The finish is bead blasted. This one here is a used version, so that gives you a bit outlook how the knife would look as it get used pretty much, but it's still in a usable working condition. I found that cheap on eBay, and for that test that works perfectly well. The price usually in USA is between like $25 to $37, so it's more of a lower price knife, but a great deal. The feedback online is relative good on it. There of course are some weaker points, and we're gonna have a look at it as well. So starting with the main blade, it's a full tang knife, so that is absolute nice. It goes all the way through to the end with the lanyard hole there all the way down. It's nicely rounded off. There are no sharp edges on other than the cutting edge, of course. The thumb serrations are not too deep or too much there, but it works. It's not too deep and not too shallow, so that works pretty good together with the rubber handle. The handle, what they did use is a overmold system, a hard plastic below, which we see here on the wear off edges, and then the softer overmold they put on the handle with 4 screws. Unfortunately you need 2 pair of Torx to remove it, because they did use a bottle system to hold the screws in place that is not locked with the angle, so it simply turns around as you unscrew it, so you need to use 2 Torx screws. That's a bit of a drawback. Back to the blade, it's fully flat ground, really high ground. We have a nice point that is in the middle and still has a good belly. This is the serrated version of the knife. They also make a plain edge variation as well, so you can select either one. Price wise, that should not give too much of a difference. So I like the style, I like the look. The rubber handle unfortunately is not gonna last too long or hold too well up if you're gonna use it. We see here the plastic undermold, the harder plastic comes out already, and apparently the overmold, the rubberish part, is relative thin, so it's gonna flake off if you're gonna use it a bit more. It feels kind of good in your hand. It gives you that tracking because it's a rubberish material. For tactical application that is maybe less good. That would have been a great knife if they would make the same with a black finished blade and a simple flat G10 handle. We see the handle is really thin for what it is. That was another reason why I got it. I like knives that have a thinner handle. It's easier to carry, and yeah, that much about the blade. The sheath is a typical hunting style sheath. That knife is marketed as a hunting knife. That has a hard plastic insert there at least, so it's pretty safe to carry. Then we see the snap. The button, of course, on the new one is completely black. This one just got carried quite a lot. We have a big huge belt loop. If you have a smaller belt, you can always simply glue that together, or use a couple stitches to sew it together on the size that you need. So that's pretty simple. The knife not gonna interlock with the plastic insert. That is another problem with the rubber overmold. Say if you would make a Kydex sheet, the rubber would wear out on the Kydex relatively fast. Because the rubber overmold is softer than Kydex, it would not give the friction needed with a Kydex sheet. So it's not gonna interlock, it just goes in, and then we can close the snap to hold it in place. That is relatively good. Of course it wiggles a bit because the inserts are never tight fitted to the blade as it could be. So it of course has a little bit a wiggle. So what to do with that blade? I did already restore the edge on this one, and that the item gonna cut again. The next is a bit of test. I'm gonna see how well I like it so far. I think it's pretty good, and then I'm gonna take off the grips and put on simple flat 3mm G10 ones. We gonna see how the mounting system is working with that screw, 2 screws and a bottle in the middle there, if we have enough space to mount a bit thinner scales. The 3mm is a bit thinner. I would say this is about 5mm here, and so we're gonna see how the scale, the grip gonna go on. To make the G10 scales, that is absolutely easy. You simply need a piece of a G10 and shape it to the size, because we're gonna bead blast the whole thing. That will give it a brand new look, and the Gerber logo gonna be quite likely a bit less visual after the blasting. I'm gonna simply grind on the tang, and I don't gonna leave out the cutout here. The G10 will go all the way around quite likely, to make it more simple. And then, as we have the G10 on it, the work on fitting those scales is about 20 minutes for 2 scales with the machinery here. Not gonna over hurry on that. And then it needs a simple but working Kydex sheet with a good locking surface. Because we have that part here, that will give us already enough locking surface, together maybe with a little bit here for the Kydex sheet. So that's gonna be easy to make. And then we have quite a good knife for a small price. The blade is holding up so far as expected from 440A stainless steel. It's a good using steel. It's not a collectible, of course, but for the price, I wish we had back in the day such quality knives for the low price. That back then was more like a Pakistani garbage made steel blade knife for such a low price. Yeah, so all in all, if you see that knife, have a look, take it in your hand. Maybe you like the way how the rubber handle gonna feel in your hand. It's one of those pretty good deals if you can get it for like $25 to $27 for such a big medium to big size knife with a good handle and a relative good sheet. Say something for the tackle box or for a survival kit if you are on a budget. Of course there are higher price options and higher quality options as well, so it's up to you. This item would also make a great starting knife for somebody that get their first knife or the second knife, maybe the first fixed blade knife, as they are old enough to have one that has a tip. Yeah, that much about Gerber Big Rock Part Serrated variation.